From Boston, Massachusetts, to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
We are back. A little bit of a break. We had about a week and a half.
Yeah, a little bit of a
hiatus.
A little bit. We just had we had a lot of stuff going on. Welcome back. Friday, not our typical Sunday because let's just face it, my weekends are pretty much fucked for the next couple weeks.
You in baseball.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But it is nice to do a Friday show because if you haven't noticed the table, there's copious amounts of alcohol.
Oh yeah,
that is present on the table that will be consumed while we do this show.
And, and sometimes when we do shows, when we have special guests, and just a very special guest, we like to try to incorporate things, even though this is really not. I wouldn't say it, and the gentleman will probably agree with me on this, that Foster's is really not a good beer in the United States, and it is nowhere near as good as it proclaims to be in the land down under. But Foster's is fucking terrible. But we have it here today.
But I'm gonna
try to put it down later. But
it's the only thing accessible to us Yankees that we have in this country.
Yeah. So in my lifetime, at one point in my life, I'm 41 years old.
You're a young fella.
My kids will be grown a little bit. I want to go. I've always seen this video on YouTube, and I've always wanted to go because
here it comes.
It just looks like there's so much hospitality in this place.
Here it comes,
and it makes you feel like you're welcome.
Okay.
So I see this on TV, and I'm like, I gotta go here. So let me play this video for you.
G'day. Thought I might be able to see America.
I mean,
just across the
who the fuck doesn't want to hang out with this guy?
Looks like a boatload of you.
Is that a knife?
In there now. And a plane load. Better fill the ice box and fire up the Barbie.
Oh, fire up the Barbie too.
Just like to make you feel at home.
So when we do come visit,
this is what I expect. Whenever I go visit, this is exactly what I see.
G'day viewers. Just been telling the Yankees it's best place for holiday.
This guy right here is got to be the quintessential. He's Samaritan. He's the most Australian.
He's the man. He's the man.
And our guest is probably too young to know who this guy is.
G'day. Come on. I'll make a liar out of me.
Oh man! Without further ado, we are going to bring our special guest. Some of you know him as Nick Bauer. Some of you know him as BarstoolBauer. But
he's had several handles on the old Twitter.
So without further ado, here's our man right here.
Hey,
what's up, Nick?
Hey guys, how you going?
Going good.
What is good?
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, Foster's definitely is a terrible beer.
So what beer is the beer of choice?
Oh, we have so many. Like we've got a lot of shitty draft beers. I don't know. Yeah, there's plenty of beers, but Foster's I don't even consider Foster's Australian.
It's kind of like Budweiser here. Budweiser's bullshit here. We don't drink it.
So
or
it's
Bud Light.
Yep, it's brewed in the U.S. with imported ingredients.
Yeah, there you go.
Terrible.
There you go.
Terrible.
I think a Simpsons episode or something where they had Foster's is Australia or something, but yeah, that's it's not Australian.
Well, for anybody out there that's wondering who our guest is Nick. Him and I have followed each other for quite some time on Twitter. He is a huge Detroit and Michigan fan, all the way down under in Adelaide, Australia. So anybody out there that kind of wondered, well, why do these guys have Adelaide, Australia on their intro? Well, it's this guy. He's the reason why. And Nick, we really appreciate you taking the time at 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday to be a part of our Friday night live show here in America.
So
That's-
cheers to
Yes, cheers.
cheers.
Yes. On the-
Yeah, he's hydrating.
Yes, he
got
is.
he's got a big football game later on today this morning. So
Nick, tell us a little bit about your background. You're playing in a football match later on today, and so tell everybody out there a little bit about you.
Yeah, so from Adelaide, obviously, which is capital city of South Australia, which is obviously the south of Australia. Been here most of my life. I moved to Melbourne, which I don't know if you're maybe more familiar with Melbourne. It's one of the bigger cities in Australia. I moved there for about 5 years, and then made my way back to Adelaide during COVID, and now I'm based here again. Play Australian football, which is a totally different sport. Anything, it's not rugby, it's not soccer. It's I can try and explain it later if you like, but it's it's a totally different sport. And
he's got a call coming in.
yeah, totally different sport to you guys know, but
Ladies
that's
calling.
pretty much me.
Cool. Now, what do you do for a job out there?
I work in marketing for a betting company, actually. So it's like you guys have like obviously FanDuel and those kind of bookies. So I work for one down here. I've been there for maybe 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, that's cool.
So what kind of marketing is it? Like, are you just going out and kind of like promotional things, or?
Yeah, it sounds really bad, but it's just like getting people to bet more. Just like customer marketing, like telling people what promos.
Would you rather be a guy that goes out and snaps legs to collect money, or just have it paid up front?
Pay up front.
I hear you. So the big question for me is what made you decide to be a terrible Detroit Lions fan? What's up with that?
Well, it didn't start with the Lions, did it?
No, and like I could have made a better choice probably with my life, but
we all make ones we regret.
Yeah. It's a really weird one. Like, obviously, there's a lot of like US sports fans in Australia, but obviously none of us are from a city in America, so we kind of have to choose in different ways. And for me, it was like I used to play NBA Live 99 like on PlayStation 1, and for some reason the Pistons, like the teal jerseys or something like that, just stuck out to me, and I decided like that'll be my team. I was like 9 years old.
Of all jerseys you could choose,
the teal.
All teams. It's a teal jersey. That is the most hideous
I know.
jersey ever.
Yeah.
I'd rather wear a trash bag than wear one of those.
I don't know why that stuck out to me. I think they had like Joe Dumas was their best player, and like I don't know. I really like that the whole Pistons thing, and then a few years, maybe like 4 or 5 years later, I didn't even know what American football was, what the NFL was, and pretty much the same thing. I got Madden like I don't know 02 or 03 or something like that, and I was actually like. I don't know, when I was deciding on a team, I was thinking about the 49ers. I have no idea why. And then I was like, I'll just stay with the same city. I'll stay with Detroit. And I got into baseball and hockey a little bit more later, and then Michigan football. So,
yes.
Yeah, bit of a weird way to pick a team, but that's kind of how I got here.
Okay. I mean, that's noble. I mean, at least you haven't been suffering nowhere near as long as we have been suffering as Lions fans.
No, I feel like
I don't know if you know this now. We've been rebuilding for almost 60 some years now.
Since the 50s.
Since 57, we've been rebuilding our team. So, man, he must be getting a lot of booty calls or something. He's beating him off with a stick right now.
It's my girlfriend. She won't stop calling me. I'll call her back later. So
that's right. You dumped that to the voicemail. You got that right. I feel privileged.
Last 15 years, I guess I've been a Lions fan, and it's we've made the playoffs 3 times, but it hasn't been hasn't been the best star fandom.
Well, that's cool. So did you watch the draft?
I did. I watched the first day of the draft, and then it was the weekend for the next few days. But I've obviously looked at who we picked and things like that.
Okay, cool.
So what is your opinion? What do you think? Do you think they got somebody that will help the team? Do you think that it's was the right pick?
Yeah, I think it was. So, like, I thought we were going to go with a wide receiver, which I didn't particularly want, even though our wide receiver depth is pretty bad. But I thought we might have gone with one of those three sort of top receivers, and then as soon as the Bengals went with Chase, I was kind of like, I kind of hope we get Saul, just because. I feel like they're kind of building that offensive line, and it'll help Goff out. Like, he doesn't have that many like receiving weapons, so I don't know. I think it was the right choice, and they've kind of signed on a few offensive linemen now, so hopefully they're building.
They got a solid line.
Yeah, they just re-signed Frank Ragnow to a big deal, so
yeah.
I mean, your front's going to be good for at least probably till 2025.
And you have a coach that clearly wants to start from the trenches, and he's biting kneecaps, and he don't care.
He doesn't want turds. He wants none of that.
None. And to me, that was the pick needed. But like Rich and I were talking before, this tells me they believe in Jared Goff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, obviously I was sad to have Stafford go, although I'm like happy for him because I think he's got a real chance to win something with the Rams. But a lot of people were kind of shitting on Jared Goff, but I don't know. I think it's going to be nice to kind of have a change, whether it's like he might not be amazing, but I think it'll be nice just to have like a fairly safe kind of quarterback back there, and hopefully the offensive line will help him out a bit. And yeah, look, it seems like they're building because the next two picks were both defensive tackles.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of, they're building in the trenches, which like all the good teams do that. You don't want to draft wide receivers. You can find anywhere. So I like what they're doing. I think they're on the right track. It might still be a few more years, but
listen to this guy right here. You know what? Let me tell you something. For a guy who's been a football fan for about 15 years, you found out what at the NFL. This man knows what he's talking about.
He does.
He's like, we're going to go in the trenches.
Yep.
We're going to get in there and we're going to hold the line and we're going to win football games. Hey, I was like, a couple of weeks ago, there's a guy in the Detroit area who is the beat writer for the newspaper. He was on the show and he's like, well, if he's there, he goes, I would personally take a quarterback. And he wanted Trey Lance. He was real big on Trey Lance. I'm like, well, if he's not there, and he's like, well, they got to go for Chase. And then his last pick was Sewell. And I was like,
I don't think he ever thought Panay was going to be there.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to. We thought for sure after Joe Burrows got sacked in 32 times in how many games?
And had his leg almost decapitated.
Yeah, I thought he was done, but no, hey, this guy right here knows how to build a team right here. Hey, the Lions need you.
Yeah, you could be the director of scouting or something.
You could be the marketing director of scouting.
Like, you look at I know it's like trending towards being a passing league. Like you've got obviously the Chiefs and Aaron Rodgers and all that, but I feel like more than not, the teams that win have a really solid defense and a good run game, and that's all with the defensive and offensive line. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the way to go.
Tampa proved that this year. But speaking of Aaron Rodgers, did you hear the little tidbit that came out today that Green Bay allegedly offered him $45 million a year for as long as he wants to play every year?
Wow.
We'll extend the contract for as long as you want, 45 per. And he turned it.
And he said,
I already have that money, but I don't need your money.
But here's the thing with that is with the whole Aaron Rodgers, I get why he's pissed off. He's like, look, every year, like last year, they moved up and take Jordan Love. He's like, okay, so you drafted my replacement. You did nothing to help me.
But he can't be surprised. That's what Green Bay does. That's how he got picked. He got drafted in the midst of Favre in his prime.
Yeah.
And he can't be surprised by that. As Lions fans, I think we can all agree, let him cry.
Oh, yeah.
Let him cry and get him out of the North. Get him out. Yeah. I'm not going to shed a tear, although I do enjoy him Tuesdays with Pat McAfee. That is. Do
you ever get a chance to catch that?
Yeah, I've seen that, and he also did. He did like Barstool Sports had a like they were donating money to all the small businesses. Got involved with that as well, so it kind of made me hate a bit less. But
I was never a fan of Aaron Rodgers until he started going on to Pat McAfee, and it was like, this guy's actually pretty cool.
He is.
You didn't like him because he was stomping mud holes in the Lions for the last couple of years, so of course you're not going to like the guy. But I mean, when it comes down to it, the guy he's a pretty noble guy when it comes to charity work and being involved.
So you've had made several journeys across the pond, we'll say, to the Detroit area. At one point, you were even considered a season ticket holder with the Lions, which is pretty fucking awesome, if you ask me. So tell us a little about some of your journeys, some of your favorite moments, some restaurants, or some memorable stops that you might have had along the way. I know you followed the Lions, did some road games here in Arizona and other stops. About that.
Yeah. So I was a season ticket holder in 2012. I couldn't make all the games, so I sold the ones I couldn't go to, but I think it just worked out cheaper to just buy season tickets. And I think that was the 2012 season, and we started okay, and then every game when I went across, we lost every single game that I went to. So, not ideal, but yeah, I've been across to America 2011, 2012, 2013, and then 2018, I think, was the last time I went. Obviously there to travel and experience a bunch of new places, but partly based my trip around following Lions games. I've been to Arizona twice to see the Lions play there. Just worked out that they were playing there. The last time I went was really cool. I tweeted the Lions account just to say that I was there from Australia, and they reached out and got me like sideline passes before the game to go on the field. So that was really nice of them and really cool.
Shit, you're like a VIP.
Yeah, I think I just got lucky that they saw my tweet that I was there, and obviously, like, I guess appreciated that I came all the way from Australia to watch them. And we won, which was nice. But yeah, I think my record at Lions games is something like 2 wins and 10 losses or something.
Dude, yeah, you're a Honolulu blue and silver for sure.
That's a Kool-Aid drinker right there.
Yeah,
you're still tuning in.
Sorry.
So I was a season ticket holder at one time.
Table for one over here.
Exactly. Go ahead. Yeah. So I was a season ticket holder, and I couldn't take it anymore. I had them for, I want to say, 4 years. A buddy and I had them, and the losing sucked. Like, going to Eastern Market was cool and everything like that, but by the time you get there at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, shit faced by noon. You walk down, to the stadium, and then by halftime, you're like, all right, I'm starting to get a hangover, starting to get a headache, and they're getting their asses kicked. And this guy that's sat next to me, now, mind you, I weigh, well, at the time I was probably like 200 pounds. The guy sitting next to me was probably about 325, and he was eating hamburgers like this, one hand. And his girlfriend wasn't tiny either. And I'm like, he's got to go.
So was his leg like lopping over top of yours?
I was like this. Watch this game. I had good seats.
Drunk, they're losing, and you got a big dude next to you smashing you.
I'm like this in the seat. I'm like,
I'd get rid of my season tickets too.
So here's what's funny. So you said your girlfriend's been calling you. take her to a game, know who's sitting next to you, and if you get a big guy sitting next to you,
Put her on that.
you
side.
let them sit on that side, and you just sit back. Like so preseason, I went to a game, and that guy was sitting there. I was like, all right, well, next time I go to the game, I know what seat I ain't sitting in. I'm going to sit in the one next, and I'm not going to get squished. But
so, being that you've been over here several times, what would you say outside of Detroit? We won't count Detroit. Maybe
you can't say Vegas either.
We'll ask that next. But what's your favorite place that you have been outside of Detroit?
Probably New Orleans. It's like, I don't know, it feels like a different country to the rest of America. It's a crazy place. Like, obviously you got Bourbon Street and yeah, I don't know, just good food, drinking, and yeah, all of that. It's one of my favorite places. Also, I said if I could live anywhere of the places I've been, I'd probably say Phoenix. I don't know, it's just like obviously nice weather all the time, and yeah, a lot to do there. So yeah,
you went in the winter time though, right?
You know, the snowbirds there.
Yeah, every time I've gone across, it's been in November, December, obviously, to watch NFL. So I need to get over there in the summer one time because it's.
Don't go to Phoenix in the summer.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
They say it's a dry heat.
It's like it doesn't matter. It's like
come on, hold on now. We're talking to a guy that lives in Australia. What does it get? 110 like regularly?
Yeah, yeah. Our Adelaide weather's very similar to Phoenix. It's very dry heat and can get I don't know what Fahrenheit. I think it's about 110 or so.
I can recall several tweets where you were taking pictures of your temperature in your car, and this sucks. And then I would take a picture of the temperature of my car and be like, yeah, you know what? I'll trade you right now. It'd be like -10 and you're 110. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a like a culture question to ask you. Honest answer. Do you like Vegemite?
I love it. I've actually hold on. I've got some right.
Geez, there it is.
Ready for breakfast before the game.
Is it?
It's the yeast.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's just very salty. It's like it goes really well on toast with like melted butter. But every time Americans try it, if I see them on like a TV show or something trying it, they seem to just get a spoonful and eat it just by itself, and that's like disgusting. So, have you guys ever had it?
I've had it.
No,
I've had it.
No,
my coworker that brought some back to from Australia for me because I said, "Hey, bring me some Vegemite." He brought that. I had it on a cracker.
Yeah,
and I took a bite of that cracker and I said, "No."
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I'd rather go out in the yard and eat dog shit than have that. It was terrible. Hey,
it can't be that bad.
Hey, you know what? Kudos to you. I will say kudos to you for eating it.
I on
He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. He said,
what was it, your ringtone? Is that why you were thinking somebody's calling you?
That's it.
So some of the do you follow a lot of the American music, or who's some of the artists that you like to follow that might be over here?
As in Australian artists or just
do you follow like American music or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, like probably another reason I guess chose Detroit would be Eminem back in the day. Like that was he was like gigantic, obviously, and I was already kind of choosing Detroit teams, and that just helped me along the way. But I like everything. I like rap music, like I don't know, any music really.
So are you a big fan of the group called
Jesus.
Men at Work?
Men at Work, I'm pretty sure they're like Scottish or something like that. I don't really know why.
No. They're from Melbourne. I looked it up before we got on the phone with you.
Oh, there you go. I thought
Nick, how old are you?
29.
You're 29?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I got underwear older than you.
So that's way before his time. That's way
Yeah, I know the song obviously, but I don't know much about him.
Next time we do a podcast, you're gonna have your mother on it because then her and I could be able to talk about music that I like. I'm just fucking with you, man.
So is there like a big following? What would the most popular American sport be over in Australia?
In Australia, it'd be the NBA. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is. I think maybe the time of the games. It's not like NFL's on it at 4 a.m. Like obviously the night games are on at a better time for us, but I think NBA all the games are on it between sort of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I don't really know what the reasoning behind it is. I think people like following like the players a lot more as well. Like
there's more of a global
well,
reach.
I think there's more of a global reach with
there's more
basketball.
There's more people from around the world that play. So usually when the Lions are kicking off, where are you?
In bed sleeping, probably.
No, I
No.
sadly I'm watching them.
What at 1 o'clock kickoff here? What time are you watching the game there?
So the first like 4 or 5 weeks are the hardest because it's on at like 2:30 a.m., which is just the absolute worst on a Monday morning. So then once daylight savings begins here, then it's like 3:30, and then when it ends in America, because they're at different times, that eventually gets to about 4:30 kickoffs for 1 p.m. You guys.
And are there obviously there's no drinking going on in the middle of the night, but are there any like establishments that have like over here we have a lot of like the Browns. I'm a fan of the Browns because of my dad. There's a huge fan base called the Browns backers. So a lot of the bars will host fan clubs to come and watch the games and whatnot. Do they have things like that over there?
Not really for NFL, just purely because of the time, I guess. Like, and it's even harder because it's a Monday morning. Most people I watch before I start work. But I've seen for like NBA, I've seen a few pubs that might have like I think I saw one that was like a 76ers pub, and when they win, everyone got like a drink or something like that. But yeah, there's not really like specific team places or anything like that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good. So you were telling us earlier before the show that Australia's pretty much on lockdown. They take it pretty serious. And one of the things we talked about was, would you ever come back to America? And you obviously said you wanted to, but you didn't think that they would let you back into the country. Talk about that a little bit.
It's not probably because of COVID. You probably got some law issues going on, right?
No. The coat. So we've been pretty lucky here. Apart from Melbourne, we really haven't had that many cases of COVID here. I think probably because we're an isolated sort of island. Once the pandemic kind of began, we shut it, like the country just shut their borders to everyone. And then any Australian coming back into Australia would have to isolate in a hotel for 14 days. There was an outbreak in Melbourne, but apart from that, the whole country has really been life as normal. Like we don't really wear masks apart from on flights. We're kind of just been life as normal. But the only reason you can travel overseas is for business. And if you do, you've got to isolate for 14 days. I think it's at your own cost at these Medi hotels that they have. So, and it sounds like we've just opened our border to New Zealand. So you can go back and forth with New Zealand at the moment. But yeah, it sounds like at least, I don't know whether it's until everyone gets vaccinated or they're going to wait even longer, but it sounds like it's going to be a few more years until we're allowed to travel internationally at all, really.
Now, what about like people coming into Australia? Is it still shut down right now?
It's really weird. Like, I think if it's like we've had sports teams come in, like, I think there was like Indian cricket team came in a while ago, and they're obviously allowed to be here.
Back. Turn the plane around, send it back.
Yeah, pretty much what it's like. Even like Australian residents that are overseas are having a hard time like getting back in. I know there's like I think India just had they're in the middle of like a really bad outbreak, and there's a lot of Australians stuck there, and they're just like not letting them back into the country. It's brutal, but at the same time, like it allows us to
live normal.
Live normal. Like you wouldn't even know that. We in Adelaide, we haven't had a community transition in months, I think.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's good.
Well, I mean, that just shows you that, you know, sometimes you got to shut down. And over here, it's a complete shit show. It's pretty political, and
everybody has made it into a political. They politicized it and made it seem like it was certain groups against other groups. You know, you are familiar with the annoying orange that we had as president. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs because what they did is they didn't do the right thing from the get-go, and we're suffering from it still. Businesses are still only open at about 50% capacity. So, I mean, small businesses are just getting hit. There's no relief whatsoever. The government's saying you can't serve people, you can't do this, you can't do that, or your capacity is only at for a while it was 25%. So then here's the thing. So here's what's funny. You'll probably laugh at this. They told people that there was no indoor dining at restaurants. So what people were doing, these companies, they were taking and getting these gigantic tents and making them like a graduation from high school tent. And they were serving people and feeding.
And that was
like
full capacity.
And that was at full capacity. Yep. It's like you made people that own tents. They made a shit ton of money.
The igloos ran out.
Oh yeah, we had like igloos, you name it. So yeah, it's been definitely a wild ride for us. That's for damn sure.
So if you're wondering where we broadcast from, this is actually my garage that we decided through quarantine, since we couldn't go to the bar, we're gonna build a bar. So we built a bar. We got 3 TVs and a bunch of pictures on the wall, and we've got jerseys hanging up everywhere. We have people that come on the show that donate something to hang up, so it's pretty cool. So we've made the best of quarantine over here.
We have not been too shy when it comes to having enough partying to go on. So
it looked really cool. I thought it was a studio or something like that. Done a good job.
We call it the Speakeasy 330. That's my address, but so we kind of incorporated into the show. But both Rich and I are fully vaccinated, and our better halves are as well. Well, minus the one. His better half.
3 out of 4.
And it's kind of rolled out. It's available for anybody 16 and over. And right now, I think the last numbers I heard was 38% of adults are fully vaccinated. What's it like out over there with the vaccinations? Are people for it or against it?
Yeah, it's probably similar to America. You're going to have the anti-vaxxers and for like I'm not too concerned with it because at the moment we don't really need it in Australia. But obviously, if we want to start traveling overseas and things like that and go back to normal, we'll have to get it eventually. And I'll get it. I don't have an issue with it. But I think we've got like people are getting vaccinated here, but I think we'll be the last country to have everyone kind of fully vaccinated. We don't really need it at the moment. So yeah.
Well, before we let you go, which again, we really appreciate you taking the time this morning, or I should say your morning, our evening. I got to tell you, I was so excited today. I was at work, working. I work from home, so I didn't really go anywhere. It was cool. Like you and I have been Twitter friends for years and years, and never spoke outside of comments. And I was really excited to actually get to. I mean, even though we're not, here in the same room, but we're actually speaking to one another. So that was really cool. So we do appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to be a part of the show. But with that being said, of all the shitty teams we're dealing with here in Detroit, who do you think is more primed to be the next one to possibly win a championship?
He's shaking his head. He's going to say DCFC. City Football Club.
Didn't they just win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so tough. Like, I don't know. Since I've been a fan, at least like there was a period where like the Tigers and the Red Wings are really good, but now like every team's terrible. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the Red Wings, if they like, I haven't followed them that much the last few years, but I feel like hockey you can turn it around probably quick enough. Maybe the Lions, but
oh boy.
Yeah.
I think Rich and I are in agreement. We like what the Pistons are doing.
Oh yeah, Weaver's been doing a good job.
They're building, from draft picks. They've got a lot of young talent, and they're fun to watch. They don't win many games, but they're fun to watch. And
they got rid of that boat anchor called Blake Griffin. Oh my God!
But as hard as it pains me to admit, I'm with you. I think the Lions are. I believe in this new regime, and I believe in Dan Campbell and the front office. And Sheila has done everything that I think every Detroit sports fan has asked of her. So my pick would be the Lions for sure.
Now let's go back and look at previous episodes where this guy right here was absolutely just bagging on Sheila. Now he loves her.
Hey, you know what? She's put the right pieces together.
I think I think the Red Wings will turn it around. I think to win a championship, I think the Red Wings will probably do it before.
I think no matter how good they might get, they're cursed. They're never gonna win it. The Pistons, I don't know. The NBA, you kind of just need to sign like a big free agent. It's not really like you can draft players, but
you can have the super team.
Yeah, there's too much collusion in basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Nick, again, we thank you very much. We didn't get into the Australian rules football, but we'll save that for the next time you're on. We hope you'll come on again with us and be a part of it, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate taking your time out of the morning to join us.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me on, and we'll definitely do it again.
Hey, get out there and win me a fucking football game today, okay?
Bite some kneecaps.
Get out there and bust some skulls, man.
All right, we'll take it easy,
have a good one, buddy. Take care. That was fucking fun.
Yeah, that's been a long time coming. Like I said, him and I have been Twitter fans, and everybody that knows me, I always talk about my Australian Twitter buddy, and to actually hear his voice and interact and talk about some Detroit sports.
No, that's cool.
This was pretty cool.
No, that's cool. Really cool. Yeah. No, I'm glad he took the time to come on and talk to us.
We were trying to work out a good schedule. We were supposed to go on with him. What was it, Sunday?
Last week.
Sunday,
9 a.m. last week.
Yeah, and then you had a tournament at the last minute.
Baseball tournament. Those goddamn tournaments, I tell you.
Well,
I tell you.
We arranged it so he could be here, and like I said, it's Friday night here. It's Saturday morning there, and he's getting ready to lace him up and go play some football, and that's pretty cool. That was a good time. Good time. We thank him for joining us.
Yeah. So just real quick before I guess we get off and recap this for the evening, but a lot has been going on in the NHL lately. My buddy, old Mr. T. Wilson, he goes in there and takes out the bread man for the year, which, I mean, granted, it was only 2 games. Only got a $5,000 fine. No suspension like that.
Something tells me that's going to change here in the next collective bargaining agreement.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. Tom Wilson believe me, he's a dirty player. I mean, we'll call a spade a spade. He's a dirty player.
Oh, sure.
If you go back and watch, he didn't cross-check the guy in the head because his stick wasn't even in that hand. So let's just take that out of the equation.
He threw him around like a rag.
Panarin jumped on his back, and you know what? I'll tell you, you jump on somebody's back, they're gonna whip you around.
I mean,
They're going to whip you around.
First off, everyone knows Tom Wilson is probably the biggest goon in the NHL.
Tom Wilson, formerly of the Plymouth Whalers.
Right. Shout out to Sean Belegian.
Go Whalers.
He's a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
So if you choose to jump on the back of the biggest goon in the NHL, what do you think's going to happen when you probably have when Wilson has 6 inches on him and probably damn near 50 pounds?
Yeah.
He did what he's supposed to do. He tossed that little rag doll around the ice, and unfortunately he got hurt. But don't poke the bear if you don't want to get hurt. But bottom line.
So that happened. The Rangers came out, the management, not the owners, but the management out and said they were very disappointed in the way
they got fired.
And they got fucking fired.
They got fired.
They got fucking fired.
And they got fined up the ass.
$250,000 they got fined.
Yep. You know what?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. For me, it's not the same hockey that I'm used to.
No. Well, back in the day, you had your goon line. You had your grind line, we'll call it.
An enforcer's enforcer. It is what it is.
And everybody knows that's Tom Wilson's game.
And then so they follow up because they had to play each other again because
that very next day.
The way that the schedule is, they had over 100 penalty minutes in the first period.
As soon as they dropped the puck, it was down. But then
I don't think the clank of the puck hitting the ice resonated through the stadium before everybody had their gloves off.
Did you happen to notice nobody wanted to queue up with Chara?
I mean, would you?
No, they were avoiding him like the plague.
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing that people have to realize: if you look at how the Washington Capitals are built as a team, they are a big, physical team.
And then look at who we got in that trade,
Verana,
who I
think we won that trade.
Some might say right now, is he not the most popular Detroit sports figure in the city? But you get a player like him that they kind of just threw in.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you where Washington's at right now.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get any further, shout out to the Giant who chimed in, said nothing better to do in Australia than watch all these shit teams. Yeah, that was a good question. And then Pops chimes in that, yeah, Dad, he is an Australian baseball fan. He does watch. He tweets from the stadium. I don't think the talent is very good, but
no.
Just wanted to get that in there. But yeah, I mean, I watching some of the shows this week about after that happened, people are bitching that it was only a $5,000 fine, and well, that's the NHL, and
I think that's the max.
That was the max, yeah. And
and everybody's calling for. Well, listen here, when you got the wolf in charge of the hen house, dude, George Paros was an enforcer and a goon.
Yeah,
what do you expect?
Right, absolutely. But yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see how the next.
It was funny. I know
goes.
Barstool had a freeze frame of the penalty box of the Capitals, and there was like 8 guys in it, and Wilson was standing up, just had a big shit-eating grin on his face, like, yeah, you ain't nobody gonna fuck with me.
Hey, but you know what though? I give Brendan Smith a lot of credit for going after him. So whatever.
Well, you do what you do for your team, and you're gonna get some backup.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
the Tigers continue to suck.
Oh.
They have to fire Al Avila. They have to. Or Al Avila.
Al Avila.
Avila.
And his son is Al Avila.
Yeah.
Here's my biggest problem with the Tigers. It's their owner. He could give 2 shits about the Tigers.
Their payroll is dick squat.
Chris Ilitch hates baseball as much as people want to say he loves it. He never got an opportunity. I think when he was younger, he was hoping to make it big, and he never got his opportunity. And he's always had an animosity towards baseball. And when the reins got in his hands, he has done absolutely nothing with it but run this team into the ground. And unfortunately, I think they have a good coach.
Oh
But
yeah,
they have
AJ
they have
Hinch is a good coach, but they haven't surrounded him with anybody.
no,
that's,
and you got players that are in the minors right now. Why is Riley Green in Erie? Explain that to me. Why
is
is
Spencer Torkelson at West Michigan?
See, I'm not, and that kind of was part of one of the points I had on him. I'll get to that in a second. Isaac Paredes, he's tearing it up in Toledo. Why is he not here? Why didn't he make this team?
Because they got
out of
Nico
Lakeland.
Goodrum. That's why.
Oh, it's bullshit. And back to Torkelson, his debut as a professional, he goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And West Michigan has 16 strikeouts as a team.
Hey, listen. I don't consider West Michigan a professional.
Well, they were saying his professional debut.
It's not.
Does that worry you?
No.
That he got 1 hit in spring training?
Nope.
And now he comes into his first game and he goes 0 for 3. He got a hit the next day, but
nope, he's a kid. Nope.
So
it's a huge.
You're going to be patient with him.
I'm going to be very patient with him. There's only so many baseball players that can make that transition immediately out of high school or immediately out of college.
So
become successful?
What's the time frame we're looking at before you're going to see
2 years?
It's
2 years.
And what about Green? I mean,
Green's ready to go now.
But why is he in Erie? That makes no sense to me.
I have no idea.
To me, my guess is they don't want to bring him up because once you bring him up, their contract basically starts.
Yeah, and realistically,
their control
starts. What needs to happen is baseball needs to get rid of all that shit.
Yeah, the options and all that.
So you can have player control over. You can realistically draft a kid when he's 18 years old and own him until he's about 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is absolute bullshit,
Yep.
and they manipulate it.
Sure,
they manipulate that for their own good, and and they really they're not doing any of these players any.
No,
they're doing a disservice. Let's
because
just say that.
You take a player like Riley Green, who's MLB ready, and I think we both agree on that.
Oh yeah.
You take a player that might get drafted by the Tigers. They're going to look at it and say, "Do I really want to go play in this organization that pretty much like slow balls these players in the minor leagues, and then?" Or do I go back into college? And I think they're going to run into that situation to where they might draft some kids and be like, "Nah, I'm going to go back to school."
Yeah. Well, and if you sit back and you look at it a little bit, you look at the broader spectrum outside of the NFL, because NFL doesn't have a minor league team or anything like that. The Pistons don't have they're going to have a G League coming up.
But
here.
Yeah,
we're not even talking about
right.
that. But if you look at the two sports, baseball and hockey, when it comes to Detroit drafts, they're very far that they'll take somebody out of the draft and
put them
insert them right in the lineup.
And what's the common thread here?
Illich?
Chris Illich.
Illich is.
It's one of those things that I don't know if Dan Gilbert gets in the mix or my favorite Matt Ishbia gets into the mix in getting involved with one of the sports franchises, which has rumored to be, possibly in the works. But are we looking at a situation where with the Lions for many years with the Ford family that just kind of sat on a lot of bullshit, and now we're doing that with the Illiches?
Probably. I mean, it's not far-fetched.
And I think that spells doom for Detroit sports fans. I mean, we look around here in the Speakeasy, there's memories, there's Detroit memories, Red Wings
everywhere,
and Tigers, and man, we reminisce on them all the time, and it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And our guest today, Nick, who
he's
on the other side of the world.
He's a newer fan.
And he's experiencing it, and God bless him for hanging on. But it's tough times being Detroit sports fans, and really the only bright light we have is Michigan basketball, because Michigan football. What's going on in Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
They lost the defensive back coach, although he goes to Buffalo. But you got players transferring, and I'm sure we'll have another show with the Giant here, kind of discussing that about what the hell's going on. But that'll be for another day. But it's dark times in Detroit sports, and I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel anytime soon.
No. Hopefully, I'm saying it's probably going to be about 3 years before we get
that's
something.
probably it. Before we get out of here, first ballot Hall of Famer got cut yesterday.
Yeah, he got DFA'd.
And what do you think about that?
Well, I'll tell you right now, his production level was just like a smidge under the Mendoza line.
Yep.
And they had no problem DFAing him.
Yeah.
But then we got a guy who is batting 098.
I guess he got a home run tonight.
Who gives a fuck?
So we're talking about Albert Pujols, who has.
He's just a good human.
It doesn't matter. 100%. He was clean. He played the game the right way. He never was accused of doing steroids. He was always a great teammate, and he accepted a release from the Angels. And so I guess the big question is there going to be a team out there that's going to take a chance on bringing him out, or have we seen the last?
I think that's the last we've seen of him.
Well, you know what?
Because you know what? You know what? He is at that point in his career where he's done it. Yeah. He's so it's kind of one of those things like, hey, you know what, dude, you had a fucking great career. Yeah. Dude, he was a feared hitter. Mm-hmm. He is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Absolutely. But not only that though, I mean, but just he is the kind of baseball player that you want your kids to emulate. Oh yeah. You know, I want my kid to be like, I want to be like Albert Pujols. Yeah, yep. I want you to be an upstanding citizen. I want you to be I want you to be a community leader. Mm-hmm. I want you to be a clubhouse leader. I want you to leader on and off the field. He is that guy. Yeah, he was one of those things that you'll look back when he's retired and be like, man, he was fun to watch. He's just a good guy, and glad we got to be witness him. Even though 2000. Yeah, we won't go there, but about that. But anyways. But yeah, so I wish him well. Yeah. You know, I don't see him accepting the assignment down to a AAA. No, I think he'll just end up. No, he's gonna. I see him ended up back in St. Louis, some part of the organization, somehow, some way, whether it be a hitting coach or, scouting. Or he'll stay involved. Yeah. He's a baseball guy, but fun fact though, on this day, I can't remember exactly how many years ago, but on this day, Big Sexy hit his first home run at Petco in San Diego. You don't know who Big Sexy is? Enlighten me. Bartolo Colon? Pops. Oh my God. Pops was a big fan of Big Sexy. He was on the He was a Cleveland Indian for. He was a Spider. Yeah, Spider or Municipals. They Municipal. Okay. Yeah. All right. He was a Cleveland tribe member for many years. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a very obscure fact there, Rich. Well, I know. Yeah, you're full of them. So. Yeah. So anyway, on that note. Yep. I got to pee, so we're gonna end this thing. And hey, everybody, a little too much information. We'll hopefully we don't go another week and a half for another show. And but again, we want to thank Nick for being a part of it from Australia, and hope to get him back on again soon. And other than that, we'll see you guys later. All right, peace out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330. You can catch us every week at ilogicmedia.com.